Johnson and trouble in the backfield. Down he goes. Big 69.
Welcome back. Icing Kicker podcast. You know, we got a lot of requests to come back, so here it is. Man, everything's been good since we last started.
It's been a while, but
you know, we had to take a break, but then we're like, we got to come back to the game, so we got a lot to talk about. Yeah.
Bigger and better than ever.
All right, well, just this last weekend on Saturday, the Heisman ceremony, so I know you had some opinions about that, so go ahead.
So, personally, I don't think Travis Hunter should have won at all.
I agree. I'm with Ashton Genty.
For sure, Ashton Genty, for sure. I mean, he did something almost, I mean, it's from now, college nowadays, I mean, that it'll never happen again,
Yeah. Like the last person, he's the first person to get close to Barry Sanders' record.
Yeah. I mean,
and if he would have played all 4 quarters every game, he definitely would have broke it.
I mean, they going through blowouts.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they played not great competition, but I mean,
still he led his team first ever time Boise State's made the playoff.
Yeah, and get a bye. So,
yeah, first round bye. But when you think about this, like I saw he had like 1,800 yards after contact. He led, which is more than most teams overall rushing, right?
I saw something where he had more touchdowns than like a bunch of other schools, like Michigan State. He had more touchdowns than Michigan State did.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
That's insane.
Like the way you can change a game when it's your team's handing you the ball in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. Like that opens up a playbook so much, and you saw the receiver started getting more getting more receptions, so it opened up the whole offense.
I mean, the play action opens up so much.
But their only loss was week 1 to Oregon by 1 point.
Yeah,
I mean Ohio State,
and he still balled out too.
Ohio State lost to Oregon by 1 point. Like
he still balled out.
I think people should be taking Boise State serious.
He had like 200 and almost 250 yards and like 2 or 3 touchdowns. I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, like when you look at his stats, like for the season, his longest rush of every yard, like you got 75, 65, 68, 77. Like that means like every game he's busting one long to the house. Yeah. Like that's an automatic. Like he's carried his team to playoffs, but whatever. And another point I think to that contention is like if Colorado's so good, if they have the number 1 quarterback and the best DB and the best receiver, why do they not make the playoffs? Why are they playing BYU in the Alamo Bowl?
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and I think Colorado should have made the playoffs. I mean, they lost to Nebraska, unranked. They lost to Kansas State, unranked. They lost to Kansas, unranked. They didn't play one single top 525.
You're saying they should have made the play? Like,
yes, they should have. But they should have won.
Yeah, they should have won their games.
I mean, if they have the team, Dion, they got the number 1 quarterback. I mean, they should have made the playoffs. I mean, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
And I just think it's
no doubt
dumb. But
so that got me thinking actually about the Heisman Award, and I have a list of my last 15 Heismans ranked. Do you have a list?
Yes, I do.
I will let you go first.
Okay. So I think we'll start from 15 to 1. I think that the worst out of since 2009.
Yeah.
I think the worst is Caleb Williams. I think he had the worst Heisman out of all of them so far. I mean, he was a junior, and it was kind of like nobody really stood out that year. So they were kind of like, well, let's give it to Caleb,
Yeah. At 15, I have Bryce Young.
Okay.
Even though he did win a national championship, that Alabama team was stacked in 2020.
Yeah.
So I don't really think he was the best.
Yeah, I get that, 100%. And then 14, I have Travis Hunter. I mean, I don't think he should have won it.
Yeah.
But also, like his stats and stuff are good, and he played both ways. I mean, I don't think snaps are a stat. So, but I don't think that Travis Hunter should have won the Heisman, personally. So I rank him a lot less than what his stats should have.
Sure. At 14, I have Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Yeah. I think his team was like what 9 and or like 8 and 4 when he won it, or 9 and 3. So they never really made any moves. I mean, I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
Like talented. He has a lot of arm talent, but I never thought he was a top player.
Yeah, for sure.
13, I have Kyler Murray.
Yep, I do too.
Yeah. Great, but never had any postseason success.
Yep. 100%
Was
agree.
always just on above average Oklahoma teams.
Yep.
But yeah, it's
100%.
exciting. All right, you want to go to number 12?
Yeah. I have Marcus Mariota. I mean, he balled out, no doubt. But like, I mean, yeah, when we were talking about this list, I mean, it's tough because you want to put guys higher.
Like that's your favorite.
That's my favorite.
But
I love
when you
Marcus
look at the
Mariota,
stats
but
and
like
everything.
I'm looking at his stats, and I mean, he did lead Oregon to what, the national championship, and
National
he lost.
championship game, yeah.
And he
lost to
lost.
Ohio State.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive, but I mean it's very tough ranking.
Yeah, it's tough to rank all these guys. When you have good memories of all of them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Obviously, they were the best player in the country at their
growing up,
their
watching
year.
them,
At 12, I have Derrick Henry.
Okay.
I didn't think he was even. I don't think he should have won that year. I think that
Who do you think?
Deshaun Watson should have won.
Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he balled out as well.
All right, number 11. Then I have Travis Hunter,
Okay.
first two-way player to win it. Obviously.
Yep.
I'm not saying that's not an impressive thing.
Mhm.
He's gonna project to be a two-way player in the NFL too. So,
Yep.
it's who. I mean, would you count Jabril Peppers as a two-way player?
Yeah, and they say that what's it called? The Michigan Heisman.
Charles Woodson.
Yeah, Charles Woodson. They
Yeah.
say he played two ways too, but he only had like 100 receiving yards or something.
Yeah.
But like back then,
So
it
he was
obviously different.
so Jabril Peppers was the last player to even get nominated for the
yes,
Heisman.
Yes, and he
But
was a two-way
They've never
player.
done it on a level that Travis Hunter's done it. So
I mean, yeah, he won the DB award and the receiver.
well, no,
award.
he didn't win. He didn't
Oh, he
win the Jim
didn't?
Thorpe. No, he didn't
Who
even get
won?
nominated.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All right, number 10, I have Jayden Daniels.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't overly like. I wouldn't put him over any of the guys on my list.
Wow. Okay. I had Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
No, I had Jameis.
Jameis Winston?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he balled out. I love Jameis.
National champion.
National champion. I love Jameis, but I mean, again, it's just very tough to rank. you
Yeah.
know? So.
Yeah, I definitely put that in consideration if they won the championship. So at 9, I had Jameis Winston too.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he was good.
Yeah.
I always put him below Mariota though. I'm curious as to why you put him above Mariota. Because they kind of were in the same.
The national championship, and I mean, he went 1 and Mariota went 2 in the draft.
Fair
so,
enough.
I also take that into consideration that he went before Mariota. So, but I mean, it's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah, they always were kind of right next to each other.
Yeah.
Who do you think's had a better NFL career?
Winston, I
You
would
think?
say, just because of longevity.
Right now, Mariota's a backup.
But
and-
yeah, but also Mariota took them to what, they won a playoff game.
Yeah, they won a playoff game in Tennessee.
Against the Chiefs. But
Dude, that's the thing about Jameis Winston is like he's a talent,
Uh-huh.
but he's gonna throw 25
Oh, yeah.
interceptions a year.
Yeah, I mean, he's 30 for 30, Jameis. I mean,
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
but like, you can't hate him.
But I love it. You
Yeah.
gotta love him. He's a gunslinger, dude.
Can't
He
hate
just
him.
throws it.
Yeah.
All right, number 8, I had RG3.
Yep, I had RG3 as well.
Nice.
Yep.
Pretty good. Never won the
Yeah.
national championship.
I mean, he's
Never
on
played in a
Baylor,
huge bowl
so-
game. Yeah.
But
Number 7, I had Baker Mayfield.
ooh, okay. Yeah.
What about you?
I had Lamar. I mean, Lamar had a standout year, but also, I mean, his record at Louisville wasn't that great.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Yeah, I remember he really blew up when they beat number 2 Clemson
Yeah.
on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what shot him in, but they ended up losing a couple games. I think they lost to Houston that year.
Yeah.
And kind of shot him out of the playoff.
I'm pretty sure out of all these players, Lamar had the worst record for Heisman.
I don't know. I think Caleb did.
Maybe it
Yeah.
might have
Or
been
Travis
Caleb.
Hunter, maybe. Like,
Oh yeah, I didn't
One of those
recall
three,
this year, but I remember seeing something where Lamar had the worst
Yeah.
record as a Heisman in the past, however
Of
many
course.
years.
but the thing about, he's also the youngest Heisman ever, 19 years old.
Oh,
Which is
wow.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude. Like, you're 19. Like,
Me winning the Heisman, being on top of the
yeah.
world.
All right. What are we on, number 7?
Yeah.
I said Baker.
I said Bryce Young.
So Baker is the only ever walk-on to win it, which I think is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And then you said
I said Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I had Bryce Young at 15.
Yeah. I mean, I had him a lot higher. Just
But it's just personal preference.
yeah.
But
I mean, it's again very
when the
hard.
margins are so different, or
Exactly.
margins are so close.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I never thought he was the best player on his team.
Yeah, but I like I think the number 1 overall pick is also a big deal for me, at least.
Like if you think, yeah.
Like if they're pick number 1, they're obviously
they were the best guy.
They were
yeah.
the best guy, so I take that into account as well. So yeah.
All right, number 6, I have Devonta Smith.
I do too. Yeah. That 2020 season was weird, anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, he did ball out. Like he had a really good season, but for him to go any higher,
I love him. I think he was probably one of the best receivers of the last. I mean, statistically, he had the best receiver season of all time.
Yeah.
But I just can't put him up above any of the guys on my list.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, you want to start with number 5?
5. I have Baker.
Baker, yeah. I love Baker.
Yeah, I love Baker. He's my second favorite quarterback in the NFL now.
Yeah,
and even in college,
easily could have made the national championship game. Yep. They lost in overtime to Georgia.
Yep.
Dog.
Yeah,
great career too.
Yeah,
I mean, he played multiple elite seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Number 5, I have Marcus Mariota.
I have Derrick Henry.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I thought he was better than Ingram, but I mean, he was also just like growing up watching him. I mean, it's like
the thing about Derrick Henry for me is where I put him a little bit lower is that year that he won 2015.
Mm-hmm.
They lost in the national championship to Ohio State, and he wasn't even the best running back in that game. Ezekiel Elliott had like 300 yards or something.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like, I don't know. I didn't think he was even the best player in the playoffs. So
yeah, I mean, it's more like that was more personal preference for me because watching Derrick Henry, it's like watching a defensive end running the ball with his shirt tucked up.
He's still a freak. Yeah,
I mean, he's still a freak. But like,
do you remember when they played Michigan State in the semifinal and they won like 31-0?
Yeah,
and there's a clip of him like killing somebody,
and then him and Mark Ingram are standing next to each other, and Mark Ingram looks like a little kid.
Yeah,
so funny.
All right, number 4, I had Lamar Jackson.
I had Money Manziel.
Yeah, all right. I got Manziel at 3, 1 higher.
Yeah.
I like Lamar. I couldn't put him above Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, youngest ever. We already talked about this.
Yeah.
Number 3, I have Manziel.
Yeah, I love Manziel. I mean, he's probably my favorite. Him and Baker are my favorite college players of all time.
Yeah. Most exciting on this guy.
Most exciting for sure. And that Money Manziel documentary, the best thing I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah, it's sweet. And he's still a cool dude if you watch his interview with Shannon Sharp.
Yep.
But again, he never had like the postseason success.
Yeah, for sure.
He never made it to the national championship or anything.
Yeah.
I know he was a little bit before the playoff era, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So who'd you have at number 3?
I'm missing something. I have Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, he's been good in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where was he drafted at?
2.
2? Yeah, I don't know. I've never been the biggest fan just because he didn't lead LSU to the playoffs.
Yep.
Like,
yeah,
I
that's
can't.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but he also his rushing yards. I mean, he had I think it was like 1,500 or something rushing yards.
Who else was in the Heisman that year that he won? Because I think I remember I didn't want him to win.
I know Caleb was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Caleb is second year.
Who was it?
I don't know. I just
Drake
feel like
May. Drake May was.
I feel like the last 5 years they haven't been as strong as like the early 2010s.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like,
but I also think it's just like us growing up.
A nostalgic factor too.
Yeah.
All right, number 2. I think we have the same guy, Cam Newton.
Yeah, Cam Newton. Yeah.
National champion at Auburn.
Yeah.
Great NFL career.
Dog.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Fun to watch. So but fun. Number 1's undisputed.
Yeah.
Best season of all time.
Yeah.
Best team of all time.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, 4,715 passing yards, 48 touchdowns. Didn't even play the second half of most games.
Yeah, and I mean you're looking at the team. I mean, throwing at Justin Jefferson and
ever,
Jamar Chase. I mean,
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I mean he was a dog.
Derek Stingley when he was a freshman.
And the thing is like, I know people. This is also another thing. I know people say that like the worst NFL team of all time couldn't beat the best or would destroy the best college team. I think that LSU team could beat like the
I don't know. I don't think so.
The 0-16 Lions with Dan Orlovsky.
So,
come on, dude.
No. There's no way.
I think for sure. I mean, that team had potentially 3 first ballot Hall of Famers just on offense.
Yeah.
And then the defense, I mean, they had Patrick Queen, they had Derek Stingley, they had Grant Delpit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah, no, I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I think everyone knows that was the best, but
Yeah, for sure. I mean, best college playoff and then regular season of all time for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about the Biletnikoff Award?
I think it was stupid. Like that's what I'm most mad about. I'm mad that Ashton Genty didn't win it, but I'm more mad about the Biletnikoff because I mean, Nick Nash, he's San Jose State wide receiver. He won the Triple Crown in all of college football.
Yeah, I mean, you're making the same argument that someone would make against you for Ashton Genty, though.
Yeah,
he played at San Jose State.
100%. But, I mean, the stats, they're pretty similar. 104 receptions and 92 receptions, and then he had about 200 more yards and 2 more touchdowns. But, I mean, leading the
Big 12 isn't the best conference ever either.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like Tedatory McMillan from Arizona.
Yeah, he was a beast.
He's a big receiver.
Yeah.
I like him. I mean, obviously, I love Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
I don't think he has the stats to win it, but I think he's the biggest freak in college football.
You could also say Ryan Williams, too.
Yeah, Ryan Williams has, the star and had the big plays, but he doesn't have the stats.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
But it's crazy. I mean, you can make an argument the 2 best receivers in college are true freshmen.
Yeah,
17 and 18 years old.
And then also the John Mackey Award, I thought that was terrible, too. I mean, Tyler Warren, beast. Played everything. He had passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, obviously, and played on special teams too. But I mean, Harold Fannin from Bowling Green, I mean, he led college football in 20 statistics for a tight end.
Yeah,
and he had he had 300 more yards, 12 more receptions, and 3 more touchdowns than Tyler Warren. And I get what's it called, the versatility, but kind of like a Taysom Hill, but it's the John Mackey. It's not
the all-around player.
Exactly.
But I think what you've said so far, Ashton Genty, Nick Nash, you value the stats over the conference more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of see it 50-50. He's playing on the number 6 team in the country.
Yeah. And
he's the best player on the team, and he's led them to a couple victories, playing in the Big Ten. But I see it.
I also agree with that, a little bit as well. I also think that competition matters 100%, but, I mean, I just think that, if you're leading college football in 20 statistics as a tight end, I think it's and, I mean, why even have the smaller schools even be in contention
if they're not going to win it?
If they're not going to win it, I mean, why even have a separate award for them
for small schools?
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
I mean, they definitely deserve representation, but I feel and this isn't separate from the award, and this isn't why Tyler Warren should have won. But you look at Penn State, you look at Iowa, those are tight end hot spots, Mike Gesicki, Iowa, Noah Fant, George Kittle,
TJ Hawkinson.
They came out of the same draft, right?
Yeah.
Noah Fant, TJ Hawkinson. It's crazy.
Both first rounders.
Yeah.
So
would you rather have Laporta or Hawkinson right now?
Laporta.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not a fan of Hawk.
Yeah.
I think he's a little overrated. I mean, he was a beast for the Lions, but I think Laporta, I mean, he had a all-time rookie season. I mean, Bowers just broke the record over Laporta, but I mean, Brock Bowers is also a beast. I mean, he's the best tight end
he's a freak
in college ever.
Yeah, Brock Bowers was obviously amazing. Brock Bowers is what I thought Kyle Pitts was going to be.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously that's because he wasn't getting targets in Atlanta or whatever. But still, I think Brock Bowers is just that that versatile. He reminds me more of George Kittle, where it's he can make plays, but he's also a dominant run blocker.
100%. Yeah, I like that for sure. I mean, he's got the speed, he's got the strength, he's got the size. It's just, I think that, I mean, for Kyle Pitts, he's more of a receiver, just a big receiver like Calvin. But, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Brock Bowers, though, Napa, California.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's pretty much all we had on our mind.
Yep.
Let us know what you thought about our Heisman picks. I mean, we differ a little bit, but our top 5 are pretty much the same.
Yeah, pretty much around the same.
You can't really compete with the top 3, Manziel, Newton, and Burrow.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, those change programs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
so
and they're household names too. I mean,
yeah.
Bryce Young isn't like the biggest household name, you know.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams, but like, man, when you think of Auburn football,
you think of Cam Newton, Texas A&M, Manziel.
I mean,
yeah.
And then LSU, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow kind of brought LSU back, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
sure.
they were kind of a mid-tier SEC team, and you know, Jayden Daniels was also brought them some success, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks. We'll be back soon.
100%.
Icing the kicker.